I'm going to appoint Keen Hudson to fill in or to make a quorum. So Becky, if you want to do the roll.
Absolutely. Jack Scrogstead.
Here.
Ellie Huss. Dean Friel.
Here.
Katie White. Ron Gascoigne. Reed Acree.
Here.
Keen Hudson.
Present.
I think Allie was going to be on Zoom. I don't know if you see her there, but she indicated, nope, nothing yet. Okay. Just wanted to check that. So she just texted me. She said that she's waiting for the host to accept her, I guess. So Jonathan, if you could. Okay. All right. I won't be able to do that. So, all right. Any public attendees or anybody here need to speak about anything? I see, would you like to, we have your report. Great. Thank you for always. If you'd like, Greg, if you'd like to, if you got anything you want to say. I see there's no microphone back there. We didn't get one back there. He's going to steal one of those over there. That'd be great. It'll be close enough yet. Thanks, Greg.
Jack, my report will stand for the content that's in there. So if there's any questions related to that report, other than that, we are making progress. Thank you, Jonathan. I got two microphones in front.
You're like CNN, Fox News, everything. You're
one another. Nope, you're good. Progress is continuing to be made in terms of ridership, which is continuing to go up. I'm excited to also state that we now have an agreement with NIU to move forward with the transit desert study, as well as I just signed a contract yesterday to start working on a hydrogen fuel feasibility study. And so we'll need to go out for bids in terms of finding out who a project lead for that will be. So it's an exciting time. And unless there's any questions, that's all my report is.
No, I don't have any. I think it's great that we have this Reagan Mass Transit in Lee County to serve all the communities in our area. So thank you. Okay, let's move on. Approving of the minutes. If there's no changes or corrections to the minutes from November 12th meeting. Any changes that anyone noticed? Okay, then they will stand as presented. Next is Transportation Solid Waste. Dave Anderson, would you like to walk the committee through your report? And you submitted some action items as well.
Sure. Yeah, it's we're kind of short on report, but long on work. Everything's kind of wrapped up and we're preparing for next year. So there's tons of work going on in the office, getting everything all ready. I'll get you a letting schedule next month. I don't think we're going to let anything out in January. So, well, if we do, I'll let you know. But our lettings will take place generally February through May. So we're getting all the jobs ready, all the paperwork ready, all the approvals done, getting all that stuff ready for the spring letting season. So we got plenty to do during the summer. And the maintenance crews are doing their things that are basically listed here in the report. They're doing a lot of that stuff. As far as the action items, they do have motor fuel tax, maintenance appropriation resolution to get to the board this month. To remember, it's MFT, so Highway Authority has to appropriate and IDOT has to authorize before I can expend. So the board gets this passed this month. I'll shuffle that right over to IDOT. It gets authorized, and then that way I can start spending motor fuel tax money, January 1 if need be. So, and that's really it. And I also provided an estimate of cost. You don't have to do anything with the estimate of cost. It's just there for your information. That estimate of cost to go to IDOT for approval along with the resolution. But just so you know where the numbers come from. And technically, you've already appropriated this money through the budget anyway. If you were to look at the budget line items for appropriation or MFT, you'd basically see the exact same numbers. So anyway, this is the form it has to go to get to IDOT.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave on everything and anything on that MFT maintenance? Okay, all right. Is there a motion to move the MFT maintenance appropriation resolution to the executive committee for inclusion on the December County Board agenda. First by Dean Frio, seconded by Reed Acree. Any discussion on this? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. Okay, thanks, Dave. And then you're just getting to the solid waste too. That's closed till April. Okay, I still got people asking me, so. Yeah, I try to tell them that it's cold outside. You know,
Well, eventually it will snow and the guys will be tied up doing other things rather
Right.
than shuffling electronics around. And that's the basic reason why we skip the winter months.
oh, I get it. I don't even want to go out and do this. Pick up the garbage cans. It's so cold outside. I'm kidding. All right. Assessor's Office, GIS, Jennifer Boyd and Sammy, would you guys like to walk us through your committee report?
Good morning. The biggest thing going on in our office right now is that we did publish our 2024 general assessment notices for our the revalue townships. And so the publication was on last Wednesday, December 4th, for those townships and any other properties that have had significant changes. Also, those change of assessment notices were mailed out on Wednesday, so they're just over the weekend hitting homes. And so this Monday, we came into quite a steady crowd of people coming in and on the phone. So we've been very busy with assessment changes, but it's been going pretty well so far. The deadline to file a board of review appeal is January 3rd of 2024. So if anyone has any questions about their assessment or the appeal process, please refer them to our office. We're happy to help them through that process. I wanted to give a congratulations to Mary Ackerson in our office, who completed her Certified Illinois Assessment Officer training in the fall, and she's received her certification. In 2023, only one other employee besides myself had the certification. In 2024, it was our goal to have 2 more employees receive that certification, and we accomplished that goal. So this certification gives our employees education and tools to perform their duties more accurately, efficiently, and confidently. So we're happy to have that coming along in our office so that we're better able to serve our taxpayers with that education. Also, after the FOIA discussion at our last department head meeting and receiving our reminder from Jeremy that we needed to update our annual notice by January 1st, I decided to delegate the FOIA officer designation to Carmela Ziegler in our office. So I appreciate her taking that on, and Carmela has completed the FOIA and OMA training, and our notice has been updated. So I appreciate Carmela in our office for taking that on, and she's going to be the FOIA officer for our office. Our office has also been filling the gap for field inspections, as our primary field inspector has moved into more of a zoning inspections role. Office staff have been going out in the field and taking photos in the Palmyra Township for 2025 general reassessment year. Our GIS department has been working with the team on a new quick capture app to be used with a tablet that will enhance accuracy of photo placement and save time identifying and labeling pictures for upload back at the office. So the girls that have been going out and taking pictures have been working with that app with the tablet, and that's been working really well. They're really excited about that. While our office has been able to do some of the field work, we will not be able to carry the entire load. And I'm looking at some options for contractual field person for the spring when we start working on the task lists. Our GIS department is always researching new and existing technologies to increase efficiency and accuracy in our workflows in the most cost-effective ways. In addition to the quick capture that we have recently implemented, we are currently exploring options for replacing our farms and parcel administrator tools with applications that have more advanced capabilities and could also save on annual maintenance fees going forward. So we're looking into some of those things with the GIS team. So that's my report for this month. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions for Jennifer? Thank you, Jennifer. Sammy, would you like to walk us through your report?
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jennifer. Good morning, everybody. For the GS department report, we've been working on processing parcel splits and combination requests for October, maintaining and updating land use zoning and other GS layers, updating and uploading NG 911 and 911 GS layers to public safety mapping systems. Also, we've been working on configuring the damage assessment dashboards for Lee County EMA. Also, we responded to GIS data requests and map printing tasks. And we created detailed subdivision maps for Dixon Rural Fire Department. Finally, we conducted a training session on the ArcGIS Quick Capture application for field data collection. And now we are gathering the feedback from our users to improve and enhance both the data collection and photo inspection processes. ArcGIS Quick Capture is a mobile app designed for fast data collection, geospatial data collection, and this app will allow us to increase productivity and improve the data quality. This is all I have. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions for Sammy? A lot going on in those departments. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see Jeremy here. County Clerk, Nancy, would you like to go through your report?
Yes, thank you, Jack. Good morning. Lots of things going on. Election department, we rolled right into the consolidated election, which is April 1st. So we're taking ballot certifications right now. The deadline for that is January 23rd. Early voting and vote by mail will begin already in February 20th of 2025. The second floor office is rolling right into tax extension. So we have a big deadline that comes up December 31st for all the districts to get their levy, truth and taxation, certification of levy in. So the second floor office is very busy with that. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Any questions for Nancy? Thank you, Nancy. IT department, Paul, you're on.
Thank you. Welcome to a new fiscal year. Just like to remind the board that your IT department consists of Jonathan Henriksen, Travis Null, and myself. And we also have a big, strong partnership with Syndio Networks for our network and our infrastructure and our servers here. And I'd also like to do a special call out to Mike McBride in 911 for his ongoing support of a variety of projects over the year. Now, a question that just came to me minutes ago about how IT is really doing right now. And I was this is more of a February report because it's kind of my anniversary and like Jonathan's anniversary year, 4 years. But almost a little more than 4 years ago when we implemented a support ticket system here, we were getting 15, 16 support tickets a day. And some of them were really easy. We were able to knock them out, get away, but it was just a lot of little requests. That has evolved into more of a 4 to 5, but more complex, half of them usually leading to some sort of project type of request, which just takes more time and sometimes more resources. But I'd rather have that than a lot of things breaking down. So things are going pretty well. And in that regard, I want to thank the board for allowing me to kind of plan out a kind of capital deployment over a few years for the regular replacement for computers in departments that don't have grant money or pass-through money and the like. And in that regard, Jonathan's currently working on some laptop deployments in Newcourts, and Travis is wrapping up some computers for probation. And I've just completed some 20 or so upgrades to some tablets and some specialized laptops at the LEC. And we're waiting to wrap up some work at Animal Control after they did a little office move. And we should have that done end of this week, beginning of next week, hopefully, depending when their furniture gets in. And going forward, we still have some deployments to do for the end of the last year, going into this year. And then we're already planning on replacing some of the PCs that were installed originally in 2019 at the LEC. And then in the spring, we expect to have a batch of computers to be deploying to the state's attorney's office, in addition to upgrading certain existing computers from Windows 10 to Windows 11 as a support for Windows 10 security patches will be going away in 2025. We have a few other projects going on, but does anybody have any questions for me at this time?
Any questions for Paul? Okay, Paul, thanks. I appreciate your forward thinking on things and, instead of waiting for the all of a sudden it to hit and all of a sudden we're down computers. So I appreciate you, being forward thinking on some of those things. So,
Well, when I got here, I got quite frankly, I was quite frustrated with some of the age of some of the computers and the like. And I spoke with a lot of people who aren't here right now, but they were a big help to me to working with you on the board to plan going forward for regular maintenance and support so that departments are not kind of crippled by the technology that they have. And I'll just recall this circuit clerk's office had computers that were 7, 8, 9 years old. They took 10 minutes to start up and 10 minutes to shut down. And if they crashed during the day, took 10 minutes to reboot. That happened a couple times a day. So you're getting close to an hour of downtime for your staff. And that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
And hopefully that doesn't happen right now. And at the LEC, we're just trying to get it recently up. There's some flex updates coming up in January, and I just wanted to make sure everything was in place for when Mike McBride pushes those flex updates. Everything is up and running on those tablets and those laptops. So again, just a little forward thinking to prevent all those small little support tickets coming in so we can focus on projects. But thank you.
All
And I
right.
want to thank Jonathan. He's been here, where is he? Just a little bit longer than I have, and I really do appreciate his and Travis's hard work this past year. Thank you.
All right. And then Chris Tennyson, ROE.
Thanks, Jack. I think everyone has a copy of our report. It was another busy month for us. I'll hit a couple of highlights. I think all of you know that anytime the state or federal government's going to offer grant money to help our families here in our 3 counties, we're going to try and put in for it. We do have an issue currently here in our 3 counties. There's not enough preschool seats, and we have a lot of families, low-income families, that aren't able to get preschool for their students. So our office put in for a grant through the Illinois State Board of Education, a preschool for all expansion grant, and I'm excited to say that we were awarded that grant, and our staff's been doing a lot of work, and we're going to open in January 2 new preschool sites here in Dixon with the Dixon YMCA and the Dreaming Tree Preschool. There'll be 2 of our locations. We'll be able to serve 40 3 and 4-year-olds at each of those locations, so 80 new spots total. And those specifically will be for low-income families that haven't been able to get preschool services for their children. So we're excited about that. We're on pace to open in January. We're doing interviews and getting our staff hired, and I'll have more on that as we continue through the semester. We did have another parent university in November. We had over 20 families join. It was on Cracking the Code, Understanding Your Child's Behavior. Those are held monthly on Zoom and at no cost to families. And it's nice to see that over the last couple of months, we've had more of our families join in for those. Our stats are in there as always for our Nexus program. You can see how busy they've been. Our truancy or our tenant support program, you can see how busy they've been. I did want to make a mention that our Parents as Teachers program, which has been going strong here in our 3 counties for over 20 years, and Lois Meisenheimer has been our director and done a phenomenal job. She was just recently selected to serve on the Illinois Parents as Teachers State Office Advisory Council, which is going to have 12 advisory board members on it. And with the state of Illinois creating this new Department of Early Childhood that the governor's doing, I'm really excited that Lois will kind of be involved in that with a hands-on approach, because we've had very effective programs going here in our 3 counties for over the last 20 years. We want to make sure that the funding for our programs continues. So it's going to be nice to have her involved in that work. There's also updates on there, kind of end of the year updates for our education outreach program, which continues to enroll young adults that haven't gotten their high school diploma, working with them, and then our homeless program. And then we're wrapping up the semester at our Center for Change Alternative School. It's been a really good semester. Our new principal's done a phenomenal job, I think, getting in and getting used to being a principal in alternative school. And we're excited for what second semester is going to hold. And I'll take any questions on our report.
Any questions for Chris? Thank you, Chris. All right, we have a new person here today. Jim Gorman is with the Veterans Assistance. And so Jim has some information regarding a VSO project that we might be having to look at here. So Jim's gonna kind of talk to us a little bit about that. So please, if you have any questions, please ask him. Go ahead, Jim.
I've attended other meetings, and I guess my office has been switched around to a different committee than what I was doing. I've been the Veterans Assistant Commission Superintendent here in Lee County for going on 10 years now. It doesn't seem like it, but I'll give you an overview of what my office is. It's a state mandated office funded by the real estate taxes in Lee County. Basically, 80% of my job is providing transportation for veterans that can't drive, don't have a driver's license, don't have the means to get to their hospital and clinic appointments. We have, before COVID, we had 16 volunteer drivers. We're down to 5 now, so I'm desperate for volunteer drivers. The area that we cover for veterans appointments ranges from Madison, Wisconsin, Freeport, Rockford, Sterling, Davenport, Iowa, Iowa City, Hines Hospital in Chicago, Aurora, North Chicago Hospital, and we also have gone as far as Milwaukee, taking veterans to their appointments in clinics. And in the past couple of years, a program that has come on for veterans to help them be able to come to their appointments, make appointments closer with private physicians called Community Care. Right now, we have about 25 veterans that are taking advantage of that Community Care, which means the VA still pays for their appointments, but they schedule their appointments through us. The other part of my office, assistance, is we provide rental assistance, utility assistance, and food assistance for low-income veterans who meet the standard of an honorable discharge plus 25, their income has to be below $25,000. So that's basically what I do on a daily basis. Now, there's been some additions to the Military Veterans Act through the state of Illinois in the last couple of years, which means they're trying to put a veteran service officer in each county. You know, there's 102 counties in the state of Illinois. Right now, only 62 counties have veteran service officers. For the last 3 years, we have been using Ogle County, and there is an Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs office in Sterling, which I don't want to get into that, but Ogle County has been a great help to us, but she's one person up there. In the last 2 years, she has seen 119 veterans from Lee County. And what she does is she files claims. Vietnam veterans have gone through Agent Orange. You've heard about that. Now the Middle East veterans are going through a lot of sicknesses and illnesses and cancers and things of that nature from what was going on over there with burn pits and stuff like that. So we are in the process, hopefully through the county board and this committee, being able to hire a veteran service officer to cover the veterans here in Lee County, so we don't have to send them to DeKalb, Ogle, Whiteside County, Carroll County, which they've been great in helping us with that. But This position would do file claims. They'd also be responsible for representing the veterans if they have an appeal where the claim was denied. And the veteran can appeal, to see if he can get his service-connected disability raised. So that's basically my overview. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to try to answer them.
Like I was explaining to Jim when I spoke to him, the Lee County just passed our recent budget. So to kind of add a new person to that would be difficult this time. But I wanted to make sure that Jim came today and started talking about this, so that way we could start, planning ahead. This is something that we need to do for our veterans here in Lee County. I'm going to ask Jim to also attend and maybe speak on it at the executive committee that's coming this Thursday. Would you be available to come here on that day too and speak?
What time?
It'll be at 11
Should be.
o'clock Thursday.
I should
Okay.
be able to. If
And-
not, I'll let you know.
Okay, and then if possible to, I believe the finance committee meets at 10 o'clock that same day. It might be not a bad idea, but 9 o'clock. It may
Okay.
not be a bad idea to also just introduce yourself there and start
Okay.
talking about that. Just to kind of give them an idea of what's going on and you're in that world. As for the transportation, the volunteers, I think it would be something that we could try to, as a county, to maybe start, put it on our website, saying, hey, we need to get some volunteer drivers for these guys to go up there and start publicizing something like that.
It's been on there.
Has it? Okay.
Yeah, we've
Okay.
used Facebook. I've been on the radio.
Okay.
Don't have people saying a lot of people come in and say, yeah, I want to help, but to be a volunteer driver, you also have to
It's a hard
pass a
thing.
physical.
Volunteer, I'm sure they get reimbursed for the gasoline or no?
Well, if we go to Iowa City or Davenport or Sterling, we do have a van that we've leased for 25 years
Right.
from Iowa City. It's actually a donation. So we pay a monthly fee. If they drive the van, then it's a strictly volunteer.
Okay.
If they go to, say, Rockford, Freeport, Madison, Hines, the outer ones, they use their own vehicles, and yes, we do reimburse them the
Okay.
mileage.
All right. Well, see, I wasn't aware of that. That's
Mhm.
just, again, I'm not looking in the right places either, but when you were talking about that, I'm like,
Yep.
we need to look and try to get some more people. Cause there's people that want to help, but yeah, when it comes down to that, it's hard to get volunteers anymore.
Volunteers are hard work.
Yeah, it is. It is, I volunteer for my church and it's hard to find volunteers there too. So it's tough. So,
The average age of our volunteer drivers is 78.
oh, okay.
We have one that's 85 and he's done it for 25.
Well, thank him for that. Thank him for that. All right. Does this committee have any questions for Jim?
I just want to ask Jim to clarify. Jim, your position is part-time, is that correct?
My position is part-time, yes. I'm 4 days a week for 4 hours a day. And I'm in the new courthouse on the first floor. Used to be able to come directly into my office, but because of the security and COVID now, coming in, they do have to come through the metal detector and come through the health department. I'm right in front of the health department, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Jim,
Yes, Mike?
is this position anticipated to be mandated by the state?
Yeah, there are a couple, the actual, act is called the Veterans and Service Members, Military Veterans Assistant Act. And it's 33 ILCS 45. This is basically the act, but there are two sections in that act, which is, the first one is 33 ILCS 45/9. The Veterans Assistant Commission shall be in charge of the administration of any benefits provided under Articles 6 and 9 of the Illinois Public Aid Code for military veterans and their families. This is the financial assistance and other services. Here's the one that we're talking about. The Veterans Assistance Commission shall represent veterans in their application for or attempts to obtain benefits and services through state and federal agencies, including representing veterans in their appeals of adverse decisions. This is what requires VSOs. So yes, it will, eventually it will come to that. Like I said, there, out of the 102 counties, there are only 62 right now that have VSOs. There are a number of counties, obviously Cook and Kane and DuPage and Kendall, that have 4 and 5 VSOs in their office that answer to a Veteran Assistant Commission superintendent.
That position, should it be chosen to start anytime soon, would benefit the 100+ people that have had to travel to Ogle County to.
Yes, and it may not be a full-time position to begin with. We may be looking at a part-time until we see what the number of people that we have. We did have a part-time veteran service officer back in 17 and 18 that we shared with Ogle County. Now, I think he worked like 12 hours a week here and 12 hours a week in Ogle. And then towards the end, he did take on Whiteside also. But if we do go to a part-time position, they have to be certified. Otherwise, the claims will never get through. And in order to keep their certification up, they do have to work 20 hours a week. That would be something that we could look at.
So the numbers that we have right now out of Lee County would more than likely justify having somebody at least part-time.
Right. And those are just the ones that have gone to Ogle County that the VSO in Ogle County has tracked. I have no idea how many go to Sterling, to the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs, because he doesn't give any information out on who's going or what. The ones I see are the ones that have had issues with filing.
So that could even possibly reduce or eliminate the issues that they're experiencing
Exactly.
by having to.
Right.
attend
And there
up.
are veterans that are computer savvy that can go on and file their own claims. However, when it gets to a certain point, you have to have a VSO to speak up for you because a veteran service officer has the knowledge to disseminate what the claim actually is and use the terms that the claims board in the regional office in Chicago actually wants to see on the claim. In other words, a veteran may go online and say, I'm filing for hearing loss. Why? So somebody has to be able to disseminate that and get it into terms that those folks making the decisions will understand.
Have you had any questions from some of our older veterans?
Exactly. I mean, right now, with the way things are going in that, people, Vietnam veterans are a perfect example, which I'm a Vietnam veteran. We came back, most of us had good jobs, we had good insurance. Now all of a sudden, we're getting up to be 70, 78, 80 years old, and we're no longer needed in the workforce. So that means all of our benefits are gone. So now the light bulb goes on and geez, I was a veteran, I'm a veteran. I served, I need to get those. So yeah, the Vietnam veterans are still the ones that are filing claims and stuff like that. I probably field 15, 20 calls a week, have guys coming in the office, I need to file for benefits. And that, so yeah, so far, and I don't know if it's the fact that the Middle East veterans are doing it on their own, or what, but I haven't seen that many in my office yet. And we've been anticipating for the last 5 or 6 years, we're going to see that. And when that happens, it's going to be a big influx.
Do you think if the word gets out that we're attempting a VSO here, that'll draw
Yeah.
these people? That are
Everything is
traveling?
positive. When we talk about it, and like I say, when we had the part-time one that was only working 12 hours, and I think he was with us maybe 18 months, he filed probably 150 claims. And most of them were successful. The reason he left is unknown. We don't know why he left.
Workload.
No, it wasn't the workload.
No? Good.
I think it was the person, and like any job, if you don't have the right person in the right position, you're not going to get anything done. And I think he thought he was going to be, the answer and that, and he just didn't want to do the job anymore.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for
Mhm.
coming in. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions for Jim? Well, Jim, I thank you for what you're doing and your service as well. So I'll look forward to seeing you on executive committee, and then hopefully you can show up for finance as well. Okay, let's go to zoning. Alice, would you like to share your report with the committee?
Sure. Good morning. There is no action coming from the county board this month. We did not have a meeting. There was no new business to tend to. Actions going to the zoning board in January. We have 2 petitions. Petition number 24P 1634 by Georgios Karounsos. Georgios lives at 823 Sterling Road. He's currently operating an auto repair business illegally at the location. This petition is an attempt to bring him into compliance and deal with some of the junk vehicle issues that we are having at that property. The second petition is petition number 24P 1635 by Jake Kastner. Mr. Kastner owns approximately 4 parcels along Stony Point Road. These parcels are all currently zoned R2 single family residential, and he would like to rezone them to Ag 1 Rural Agricultural District for the purpose of raising and keeping farm animals, more specifically chickens. There is no action coming from the Planning Commission or going to the Planning Commission. And other action from the zoning office, following the November 7th of the ZBA, a longtime member Mike Pratt submitted his resignation. Mr. Pratt was appointed to the ZBA in December of 1994 and dutifully served Lee County for almost 30 years. With the loss of yet another ZBA member and the agreement of the county board, the zoning office has begun working with the state's attorney's office on a text amendment to amend the zoning code to allow for a zoning hearing officer in place of the zoning board of appeals. We will be bringing a petition for text amendment for public hearing before the Regional Planning Commission in February 2025. At the request of the county board, the zoning office is submitting with this report a proposed moratorium on accepting zoning petitions for battery energy storage systems until March 31st, 2025. Last month, the zoning office issued a building permit to Amoresco Lee County RNG LLC for the installation of approximately 4.4 miles of pipeline in Lee County. This pipeline will carry renewable natural gas from the biogas facility located in Amboy on Corregidor Road to the Kinder Morgan interconnection site located on Dutch Road. The zoning office continues to work with Maple Road Solar LLC for its application for a building permit for a 5 megawatt community solar project. We are down to the remaining issue of decommissioning financial surety. This will need to be resolved before the permit can issue. The zoning office did receive from Green River Wind its annual letter of credit administration fee in the amount of $10,000. And during the month of November 2024, the zoning office processed 17 building permits and brought in $2,711.50 in building permit fees. I also have with me Jared Yater, who will give an update on the compliance aspect.
Hello, I've been working with several people with RVs on their properties, and we finally have a system. We're trying to reduce the amount of weight that goes in the landfill on the boats and RVs because a lot of the material on those two aren't recyclable. So we have successfully used a group of people to remove boats, seats, glass, things like that from the, or remove glass engines, seats and things like that from boats to lighten that weight. So we're taking less to the landfill and they can crush just the fiberglass. So that has worked a couple times and we'll see if that continues. I removed 5 vehicles from one property. One of them was a motor home just recently. What a lot of people don't understand is us doing the paperwork for things like that, like junk titles. I haven't had where a property owner hasn't made money off of us doing that for them. So what I try to get people to understand is this whole process is free and it avoids them getting fined by us. So they're actually, there's potential for them to make some money. Obviously we can't guarantee that, but this guy here has had those vehicles for, if I had to guess, 20 years sinking in the ground, and he got $1,000 for us doing that paperwork for him, which helped him avoid fines and in court and things like that. So that's something that I'd like for everybody in here to mention to people if they ever have that kind of problem where there's a vehicle sitting with the title's not in their name, or they don't know anything about the car, it's been there forever. We can help them with that. RVs too. I'm going to one property that has 10 sitting on it. I ran into a lot of problems with anybody wanting RVs because they don't want the actual certificate, junking certificate from the state. We can now do that too for free. And we're hoping that goes well. We're trying it this week on one to see how that goes. The problem with that is getting the RV off of the property and taken to Sterling. A lot of the people that I'm dealing with don't have the means to transport those things. Where the vehicles is different, the salvage yards will come get the vehicles and tow them off and pay them for them. There's a couple times where they didn't pay, but they paid for something else that was on the property. So far I've had pretty good luck with the salvage yards and vehicles, but the RVs I'm still working on. The flip side of that is we're almost creating a system that's too easy. So what my fear is these people, some of these people calling their friends saying, hey, drag that over here in the middle of the night and Jared from zoning will give you a salvage certificate so you can get paid for it. So what I think the best approach to that is we'll help them. Alice and I haven't really discussed this in depth, but we have talked about it, is we could help them. And after we help them and they bring something else on the property, I think we should just write them immediately for that. I think that's fair. And I tell them that. So far so good, but it's new, kind of new to people out in the community. So we have to be aware of that. With that said, we did ask the sheriff's office to cite 4 people. One was a repeat offender and the other 3 just weren't talking to me, wanted to work with me. If they do, our goal is if they do talk to us and want to work with us, we're trying to avoid citations and any court appearances or anything like that. We're actually trying to help. They could actually maybe get something out of that. We have plenty of vendors that'll help them. I always ask people, what's the hang up? You know, do you not have a trailer to remove the items? You don't have the help. It's a health issue. What is it? The majority of them are, they don't have the means to get the items from point A to point B. So we have vendors now that will work with those property owners, and they figure out a system. We don't participate in it, where they split what money they do get, or if they can't get anything, it's not really worth much. They'll at least remove it for the people, and it avoids a fine. And some of this takes some time, obviously. I'm working with a few that I've had since I started in this position, still working with them, but we're making progress. I think that's all I have for you. Anybody have any questions?
Well, I just want to comment, Jared, I really appreciate your expertise in what you're doing and your demeanor with the public, and you're willing to help out. Yeah, I've come across some things, you know, where, you know, you're trying to help somebody out, and then all of a sudden they're trying to take advantage of you too. And I think that's unfortunate, but I like the idea if they're going to start trying to do an end around on you. That's not what it's for. That's not what you guys are there for. You know, you're there to try to help people who can't help themselves. And, you know, if they can move from their place to that place, they can take it. They can take it somewhere. So,
yeah.
But anyways, I appreciate what you're doing and helping us, you know, clean up Lee County for those who can't help themselves and being there. Yeah. And I'm not a fan of finding people. I'm a fan of helping. So any questions for zoning? Okay. All right. We have a couple things here, some action items. Is there a motion to move petition number 24P 1634 to the executive committee for inclusion on the December County Board agenda? First by Dean Friel, seconded by Rita Acree. Any discussion on that? No discussion. All those in favor signify saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Same. Motion carried. All right. Is there a motion to move petition 24P 1635 to the executive committees for inclusion on the December County Board agenda? First by Reed Acree, seconded by Dean Friel. Any discussion on that one?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Alice, the second one here, is there any reason why that shouldn't go through? I mean, is it in a residential area or is it more rural?
It's kind of mixed. One of the parcels is adjacent to ag. And so that is, it won't technically be but spot zoning. If all of these parcels are rezoned at the same time, we don't have that issue. It'll kind of be a blend of the two districts. I don't foresee any reasons. Currently, you know, he doesn't have any plans to build. The lots are currently covered in timber. It's part of a forestry program. So, I mean, everything, he's just trying to basically preserve this land as it is, not for development purposes.
And so, and also this is going to the zoning board of appeals. So any neighbors
yes
in that area are welcome to come to that zoning board and voice their concern too as well. So I encourage, you know, at this point that people show up for those hearings and give their 2 cents, 3, 4 cents, whatever they want to use.
And as usual, the adjacent landowners are being sent the letters.
Yes, and since there's 4 parcels, all adjoining property owners to all 4 parcels will be notified.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anything else? All right, no other debate. All those in favor signify saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, there's no petitions coming from zoning, no petitions going to, there's no petitions coming from. Now we have that moratorium, this battery storage moratorium. So is there a motion to move the batteries energy storage systems moratorium to the executive committee for the inclusion on the December County Board agenda. First by Keen Hudson, seconded by Dean Friel. Any discussions on that? We still have a moratorium on it right now going on. We just have to extend it.
No, currently, we do not have a moratorium in place. We
Okay.
haven't had any concerns about projects coming forward. However, UCCI has brought forth a draft battery storage ordinance. That is what we are going to
All right.
use as our starting
All
point.
right, and hopefully that'll something we can talk about in March, I guess, after it, and then hopefully get that going. Is that?
Yeah, I anticipate hopefully bringing it to Planning Commission in February
I see.
as
Okay.
well.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Any more discussions on that? Okay, all those in favor signify saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. All right, no unfinished business, no new business, no executive, motion to adjourn. First by Reed, second by Dean Friel. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Huh? First Reed, second Dean. And I didn't